All right, welcome everybody to the park tonight. You may notice that we have two colored shirts up on the bandstand tonight. The Lake Mill City Band is joined by the Palmyra-Eagle Community Band tonight. So let's give them a round of applause. Welcome them to the park. They are under the direction of Mr. Ed Pierce, off to the side. Tonight's concert is also sponsored by Century and Tiranina Brewery, who have graciously provided a keg of root beer and ice cream. So we have free root beer floats for all of you in the audience. Those are taking place by the picnic table under the tree. At any point, you're more than welcome to go over there and get your free root beer float. We're going to begin tonight's concert with a long tradition with the Lake Mill City Band with God Bless America.
The famous Andre Rieu, who is the founder and director of the Johann Strauss Orchestra. Many of you have seen his performances on PBS as he's taken that magnificent ensemble of his literally all over the world. Andre tells his audience something that I think is universal. He tells his audiences that when the world makes music together, the world is a better place. And this is what we're attempting to do tonight by joining our two bands together for the second time. Maybe some of you were on board last summer. It was a little too hot, but we asked Eric to turn down the thermostat, and he obliged. And we have a beautiful, beautiful summer evening for you folks tonight. We're going to open with a tune that very much is emblematic of that idea, that the world will be better. We're here to entertain you tonight. So with that thought in mind, we're going to the theme song from the hit motion picture of 1974, That's Entertainment. No one ever guessed at the start of that year that a 2.5-hour movie comprised of old musical clips from 30 years of MGM musicals would be anything of a hit. Well, it was #1 at the box office when all the tallies were added up at the end of the year. And it is a magnificent motion picture. It spawned 3 more sequels. That's entertainment 2, that's entertainment 3, and that's dancing. But in all 4 motion pictures, this was the theme song. Folks, you're going to be entertained because that's entertainment. Cut time. Have fun. 1, 2, 1, and...
Those Lazy, Hazy, Crazy Days of Summer, written by Charles Tobias and Hans Karsti, was featured on Nat King Cole's 1963 album of the same name. Nat King Cole was an American singer and jazz pianist who was a major leading force in popular music for 3 decades. Something cool is Nat King Cole was also one of the first African Americans to host a television show. So with that, please enjoy those Lazy, Hazy, Crazy Days of Summer.
Surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh and Caitlin Voigt, they are our dancers with the Palmyra-Eagle Community Band. If you thought those steps were good, wait till you get to some of our 40s music a little bit later on. They can cut a mean 40s rug. When we do our summer concerts, Lake Mills and Palmyra, instrumental features are certainly a staple, and we're going to do this right now. In fact, we're going to arm up an extra trombone player back there. Now that low brass section is really going to get deadly. And we're going to feature our trombones with a piece by the legendary band composer James Ployar. That's a name that doesn't mean a whole lot to you folks, but it means a lot to us as bandmasters because he has been the backbone for the last 50 years of concert in the park literature for town bands. If you need a old-timers medley, if you need a Civil War medley, if you need an 1890s medley, if you need an instrumental feature, you go digging in and looking for the name James Ployar, and he will pull your ensemble out of the fire every time. So we're going to feature our 9 trombones. We got 9 of you guys back there? Only 8. Okay. All right. Only 8 trombones. Oh, only 8 trombones. Okay. 9 with Derek. I thought so. Okay. Now, we'll be careful not to play this too fast, because you can't overheat the oil on the slides. Here we go, band. All set. 1, 2, 1, and. Outstanding. We'll give Derek a second to get back up here, and we'll keep the program rolling along. In the meantime, that was wonderful. Give them another hand. Wow, they just worked hard. That's a great feature. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. El Capitan is an operetta in 3 acts written by John Philip Sousa and was his most successful stage work. The famous El Capitan March features themes from that original operetta. So please enjoy El Capitan. Watch the dynamic differences we have.
– 2017. This is the 75th anniversary of the pivotal year 1942. It didn't start out very well for us. We took a beating all across the globe, starting with the fall of the Philippines in April of 1942, cascading through the fall of the Dutch East Indies, the surrender at Singapore, the fall of Wake Island. Things indeed were looking black. Then a naval engagement in a little area unknown to the world called the Coral Sea started to turn things around. And by June, just 6 months into the struggle, everything had turned around with the titanic battle at Midway Island. The sounds that our servicemen and women heard throughout these 4 years are sounds that will never leave the American fabric. The songs of the 40s will always remain with us and will always be iconic for those amazing years of struggle where this country was unbelievably unified in the effort to back the attack, buy bonds, loose lips sink ships, de Fuhrer's face, all sorts of things went into the war effort. And the music went to war as well. The sounds of the big bands, songs like this one, the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. And we draw your attention to our wonderful dancers down in front. Get a load of what they bring. Cymbal, all set? Everybody, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh and Caitlin. Amazing. Wow.
Test 1, 2. We're on. Good evening, folks, and welcome once again to our concert tonight. As you've noticed, the bandstand is a little fuller than usual. We are joined by the Palmyra-Eagle Community Band, and aren't they great? Let's give them a hand. It's always a thrill to get together with a big group of musicians and to make a lot of sound, so this is very cool. This is well on the way to becoming, I guess, an annual tradition. It's our second time now, and we hope to do it again. So we hope we'll be doing this again next summer for you. Ed Pierce is their director, so a hand for Ed, too. Thank you. Our concert sponsor tonight is the Seljan Company, so thank you to the Seljan Company. Right here in town. And, oh yeah, they're serving over there already. Root beer floats, root beer courtesy of the Tyrannia Brewing Company, ice cream and supplies from Sentry this evening, so let's thank them as well. So you're welcome to help yourselves to that during the concert or immediately afterwards as well. We want to remind you our next concert and our final concert of the regular season is next week, a week from tonight. That's August 9th, Wednesday, right here at the park at the same time, 7 o'clock. We will be playing the favorites from the season as voted by the band members themselves. So that's a lot of good stuff. Hope to see you here next Wednesday night at 7. Thank you very much.
Old time rock and roll made famous by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band in 1978 will forever be remembered for Tom Cruise's pantless dance scene from the film Risky Business. So please enjoy old time rock and roll. The Red River Valley is perhaps one of the most best known and widely sung folk songs in America. Although we often associate this song with cowboys and cowboy life, it did not have its origins in the Old West. For many years, it was believed the song was based on a composed song by James J. Kerrigan titled "In the Bright Mohawk Valley," published in 1896. The Canadian folklorist Edith Folk suggests that this folk tune has an even earlier history dating back to the 1860s, a time when the Canadian government was establishing the province of Manitoba. In 1869, the Canadians sent soldiers to put down a rebellion of the Métis, who had settled in an army of occupation, and many of the Métis fled south to the United States. The Canadian version of this song is a lament about a Métis maiden in love with a British soldier leaving for his homeland. The title comes from the Red River that flows into Lake Winnipeg. The gentle grace and simplicity of this tune has made it an enduring and much-loved part of the North American folk song repertoire. And a little bit about the composer. Pierre Laplante is of French-Canadian descent, was born in Milwaukee and grew up in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. He attended the University of Wisconsin at Madison, where he received his bachelor and master's of music degrees. He recently retired after 32 years of teaching public school music, which included classroom vocal and instrumental in the K-12 setting, and he now resides in the Madison area and continues to compose and play bassoon in the Madison Wind Ensemble. So please enjoy Red River Valley.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that point in our program known as the dreaded audience participation. And it's really easy. This is the Happy Wanderer. And if you've seen, I mentioned Andre Rieu at the start of the program. If you have seen any of his performances on PBS, you know that this is a great favorite of European audiences as well. This was a big hit in 1953. It's really a polka. And I'm going to bring the band up at the start, and when I turn around, I'm going to bring you in with the lyrics. I think you all know it. Now, let's practice that. These lyrics go like this. Valderie. Oh, come on. Valderie. Valdera. I think they're louder than you. Valderie. Get ready. Valdera. Ha, 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 ha. I knew it, chaos. Valderie. Valdera. My knapsack on my back. Now, we got to hear from you folks back in the cheap seats. I know you couldn't afford the Class A seats up in front, but we need you guys in the back cheap seats to sing out as well. I'll turn around and I'll bring you in twice in this piece. Here we go, Happy Wanderer. Here we go, gang. 1, 2, 1, go! Okay, get ready. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, ha 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 ha, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. We'll do it one more time. Here we go, and Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, ha 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 ha, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. Josh and Caitlin.
All right. Our next piece is Dixieland Struttin. This is an original composition by Eric Osterlin in the Dixieland style, which was developed at the start of the 20th century in New Orleans. So please enjoy Dixieland Struttin'. All right, our next piece, Pennsylvania Polka, was written by Lester Lee and Zeke Manners. It is best known for its performance by the Andrews Sisters for their 1942 film, Give Out Sisters. So please enjoy Pennsylvania Polka.
Of course, bands like ours love to play the music of John Philip Sousa, the March King, but there are also many other fine American march composers. Harold Bennett brings us this next musical offering. It's almost as if you pick up a musical instrument, and somewhere in your life, if you continue to play, you are going to play this next selection. It's very much a part of music life as an instrumentalist. This is a march called Military Escort, and millions of musicians worldwide have had the wonderful opportunity to play this wonderful, wonderful concert march. This is Military Escort. Here we go, everybody. Watch the trio first time through. Watch the trio first time through. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, and...
All right, our next piece of vaudeville favorites is a collection of 4 older tunes. We have In the Shade of the Old Apple Tree, The Band Played On, Sweet Adeline, and My Gal Sal. So, here is vaudeville favorites.
I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to know and to appreciate these two bands have pulled together for you tonight 15 pieces of music. We've had exactly one rehearsal together, and they have pulled it together beautifully. Haven't they done a wonderful job? Friends in Lake Mills, you have no idea how you are blessed musically to have a beautiful bandstand like this right in the heart of town, and to have a wonderful group of volunteer musicians. These people give of their time and their talent every week to prepare music for you. Their only compensation is the applause at the end of a number. And to see the seats filled at each concert really makes their hearts swell. I think Derek has done an absolutely wonderful job with the band. Give him a big hand, folks. We got together over coffee way back in February. I think it was February. Was it February? There was ice and snow on the ground. The coffee was warm and the air was cold, but we had a good time planning out the concert together, and our music librarians got all the material out to everybody. And this indeed, I think Andre was right. When everybody is making music together, the world is indeed a better place. We're going to, as we approach the close of our program tonight, we're going to play Thanks for the Memory. This, of course, was the signature tune of Bob Hope. Bob Hope started entertaining the troops in 1941 at bases in California. And when the war came in December, he immediately took his troops, his performing troupe, overseas. And when the war was finished, he continued to entertain American servicemen and servicewomen all throughout the globe to let them know, even during the Cold War years, that they were not forgotten. Bob Hope entertained in Korea. He entertained during the Cold War years. He entertained in Vietnam. And right up through the first Iraq War in 1991, he entertained the troops over in Saudi Arabia. This was the signature tune. When you heard this, you know that there was hope.
All right, before we play our last piece for you tonight, a few announcements. Let's again thank the Palmyra-Eagle Community Band for joining us. Give them another round of applause. All right, if you find yourself on social media, both of our bands have a Facebook page. If you like us, you're able to follow us and see all of our updates from the season. So if you have Facebook, go ahead and like that. Another thing, again, our concert next week, Wednesday, August 9th, 2017 favorites, but it's also going to feature 3 guest conductors. Again, we are bringing back Pat Doyle and Jim Ortle as their pieces were picked as some of the favorites of the season, and we are going to introduce the upcoming new high school band director, Dominic Gisha, who will be conducting a couple pieces with us. So we hope to have you join us again next week. And our last piece tonight is the Star Spangled Banner.
Wonderful. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you very much.
Nice job, everybody.